Okay, I'm done.
Hello and welcome. My name is Jevin, and welcome back to another StarCof podcast. Today I'm joined by Leah, Steph, and Brad. Um, how's everybody doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Good.
Doing good.
Super good.
Doing good.
Woo!
Messing around in a
Sweet.
janky physics game.
Doing
Okay.
pretty good.
So Brad is always just playing a video game while we record.
Classic
Uh,
Brad.
we are recording this on Wednesday, February 11th. So if any of this stuff is dated or we get anything wrong, that is the reason. This is all the information we have currently, right this moment, on Wednesday, February 11th. So today I found out, I guess last night from his episode, Jon Stewart is leaving The Daily Show. Is
Oh.
anybody a fan of Jon Stewart?
I have never really watched his show, but I have seen a bunch of clips from it, and what I saw, I always did enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that it will be kind of sad not, you know, seeing some good stuff from him from what I've seen in the past. Yeah.
I feel like
Was
you kind of grow
never.
used to seeing these faces on TV in your
Oh
homes, and
yeah,
one of the things.
definitely.
I
That's a
mean,
good point.
I mean, he's been on the Daily Show for 17 years, and he was the one that started it. Everything Comedy Central gave him the chance. Uh,
Yeah.
on his show, and they were showing clips when I see a few other people reporting about it, and they showed clips of him back when it was like 4x3 on the internet and TV. They're showing clips of him, and he had like brown hair with no grays in it. It's been a long time. I mean, we look at the people who he kind of started and who have their own shows now.
Hmm.
Stephen Colbert used to be a writer on his show and also was on his show, and now he's going to be taking Letterman's spot this at the end of at the beginning of next year, and then John Oliver has his own show now too, and he used to
Yeah.
work for Jon Stewart, so he's
Yeah,
done
so
a
many
lot.
people have gotten their start through him.
Exactly, and I mean,
Like you said, 17 years.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's a long time. A lot of people
It's-
have in and out of that office. What do we think he's gonna do next? What do we want to see from Jon Stewart? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I never really watched the show. I mean, he was always there,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, from this point, I mean, I would imagine retirement or producing his own shows is what he would do, I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah,
I
I
kind of
don't
see
see
him going
him.
the Chelsea Handler route.
Maybe that'd be
maybe.
a good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can see that
Did
happening.
you say Hitler route?
No,
What?
Chelsea
That's
Handler.
Chelsea handler.
That's
Okay.
Chelsea Handler.
I
Definitely.
No,
thought you said he'll go the Hitler route. Just like, wait, what?
So he on his show when he announced it to everybody, to his audience at least, he joked about how he heard that his family were really nice people
Hmm.
because for the past 17 years he has barely seen them because he's been doing the show every single day,
Constantly working, yeah.
constantly working. So it's I won't be surprised if he takes a few months off at least
Yeah,
and to hang out with his family.
probably.
Um, who do we think that is going to be able to fill his shoes? Can anybody think of like a
Oh my god.
comedian or something like that? I mean,
God,
The
I
thing
don't
about,
know.
the thing about, well, Jon Stewart we're talking about, right? I almost said
yes.
Stephen Colbert. Um, well, like the thing about Jon Stewart is that he's like one of those personalities or TV personalities that is just hard to replace.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like whoever they do get really has to like bring the like you have to they
Satirical
have to bring some,
comedy.
yeah, like they have to be probably just as funny or more, or
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard to, because the only way it'll continue to be a show that's watched and relevant to who watch TV nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to meet up to par with that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially him, he was the type to get touch on a lot of serious and at times controversial topics in a
Mm-hmm.
comedic way. And you got to find someone that can handle that sort of thing, and delivery is also really important too.
I mean,
So
the
I
only
don't
other the only other
know.
person that I thought could fill his shoes would be like John Oliver, but
Mm,
he got his show. He got his own show recently, or I mean, Stephen Colbert's already too big for that. Because now he's going to Letterman. But there's no other. It would be a person that he has been working with for a while. But most of the people he's been working with
Just give it to
have something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna have to adapt with the changes, and I don't know. I mean, there's so many avenues you could go with. You know, like people like you could go the internet route. You could go the I mean whatever. But yeah, dude. But as far as talk show hosts go, or the Jimmy Kimmels, I finally saw the celebrities reading mean tweets, and
good Lord.
That was so funny and such a great. I don't know. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sidetrack. It's a big talent to be a popular talk show host. I mean, we see how what's his name? The redheaded. I can never remember his name.
Conan.
Conan
O'Brien.
We see how Conan struggled bouncing between networks and. You know,
I think he's stronger than ever now.
I mean, yeah, he's like found a spot where he's perfect and he's in his own groove and he has his own creative vision and he, can do what he wants. That's what, he needs. But for a while, nobody, he never fit anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more, I guess there's more and more, but back in the day, there was only like 3 people who ever were talk show hosts. And now
that's becoming its own like subculture of talent. I mean, there's obviously you got anchors, your news anchors, your all those are glorified. They're actors, and then you have real actors, and then now it's like that's a breed of entertainer for sure now. I'm interested to see how James what's his name? James. He was in Into the Woods. James Corden. He's gonna be the new Late Late Show.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that. He's placing.
Yeah, the guy.
He's replacing. Oh, what's his name? God.
Jay Leno.
No.
Wait, Jay Leno's going away?
No. Jimmy Fallon is on the Late Show. The Late Late Show is Colin Ferguson. The Scottish dude.
Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson. There you go, Craig Ferguson.
I obviously made that information.
He's after Letterman, which is going to be Stephen Colbert.
Yeah.
Speaking of entertainment, Spider-Man is finally, after the longest time, coming to the MCU, which is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if people don't know, Sony acquired the rights to Spider-Man films after Canon Films or Canon, I can't remember what the company was, but they didn't do anything with it and they ended up going bankrupt. It bounced around for a little while and then Sony acquired it and has launched 2 different franchises of Spider-Man movies. The one with Tobey Maguire, the very first one I've actually enjoyed, but the past few have not been very good. So
I didn't see this one.
You didn't see the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it either.
I actually think the second Spider-Man was a lot better than the first one of this new franchise.
Really?
The Amazing Spider-Man?
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I do not think that, but okay.
I don't know. It's like a.
I mean, I like don't get me wrong. The Sam Raimi version of
the very first one.
Yes, the very first ones for sure.
Yeah.
I love them. Yeah. Even as weird as they got towards the end. Oh, but I'm saying the second Amazing Spider-Man, like not the first one, but the second film that they did was better than the first Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because
I feel like that just built, and then it got to the end and just went
plummeted. And then the second one's a little better, but it's not going to compare to the first, to the Sam Raimi version because I really did like, what Sam Raimi did with it.
So are we excited?
Except for the last one.
Are we excited that Marvel is going to have creative control over Spider-Man again? Or not again, but over his movies? Because they've built a theme of like realism and superheroes in the real world. So are we excited to see that Spider-Man is finally gonna come to basically the Avengers is what is gonna happen.
Yeah, like I mean, this for the last 10 years and plus some change. We've only seen Spider-Man, in his own universe
Hmm.
with his own villains and everything, and it would be really refreshing to see him interact with other,
Captain
you know,
America, Iron Man, Thor.
and especially a character like Spider-Man who's just like,
Especially since he's actually part of the Avengers.
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
and
Well, not
just
not technically, because he's spoiler alert, he's dead in the Avengers. I mean, he dies, so he's not technically in the Avengers because he's dead. But so some actors that have been talked about: Logan Lerman from
Logan Lerman.
from Percy Jackson and
Like,
Fury.
Oh.
He might be Spider-Man, and then the kid the kid from Maze Runner, like the main actor. He's
Okay.
Oh, that guy, yeah.
and he's also in
I would
Teen
enjoy
Wolf,
that, yeah.
and he's also in like Internship. Yeah, it's those two that have been talked about to be the new Spider-Man. A lot of people were asking, like, to have a. I can never remember the Black Spider-Man's name, but for like a
Black
refreshing-
Spider-Man.
Yeah, there's I can never remember the kid's name, but are we worried?
Trying.
Because this is the third, or because Spider-Man's gonna get his origin story in 2017, and this is gonna be the third one in our lifetime to be started, and we have to see another origin story.
So much Spider-Man.
So much Spider-Man. Some behind the scenes. So Sony and Disney / Marvel have made a deal, and Sony is giving Marvel and Disney the rights for nothing. They're just completely doing a partnership and saying, "Here you go, Marvel. Take the rights. Have creative control." I mean, even though Sony's taking 100% of the profit because they're distributing the film, but so all the money's coming to them, but they have no creative control over it. So that's a little bit interesting for us film majors, behind the scenes, and do we think that these new films are basically gonna get rid of the bad taste that the past few, like Spider-Man 3, of
Spider-Man the musical.
basically Spider-Man the musical and then the Amazing Spider-Man, because I didn't watch the second one. The first one was okay. I don't know. Do you think it's in the right hands to basically restart and make people excited to see Spider-Man
I don't know.
again?
I think it's hard to say because they were my favorite. They were my favorite hero movies growing up, and also because they were like the only superhero movies around at the time,
Besides X-Men.
early 2000s. Well, yeah, besides X-Men, but I don't know. At the same time, I just feel like it's so much. It's a little overwhelming, and I mean, hopefully, I mean, I think it's a little rough to say that what we have now is bad taste because I think what we have now is just acting on it's just current. It's like making it more flashy and getting obviously more of the teeny bopper kind of audience interested.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll go into a more serious look into it with an oranges, with
An orange story.
with an origin story. But I mean, I'm just interested to see maybe they'll do what they did with Batman. How the Tim Burton ones were like super. I actually watched Batman Forever the other day, and it was so
Awful.
cheesy and terrible, but and then you jump to what they did with Christopher Nolan did,
Okay.
and so much more, a little more hardcore. What were you gonna say?
I do have to say that they got really lucky with Christopher Nolan. I mean, you just can't really, because he came out of nowhere, and said, "Hey, I have this Batman film I want to make." Bam, and they make billions of dollars. So they got lucky with that one. You know, the whole. I'm not excited to see Batman again. I know he's gonna be older,
Yeah.
but Batfleck, I'm just not. Yeah,
Batfleck.
I just not
Funny.
excited to see.
Yeah, it feels weird. It's just, yeah.
But I mean, I guess we just have to find out.
Yeah, it's just doesn't, you just never would imagine that to be something that is like happening, and I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's hard to
I
picture.
loved Daredevil. I don't give a shit what anyone else says. That
Forgot about that one.
Daredevil
Oh my
is
god,
my
it's
favorite.
so bad. It's so
and
bad. It's such a bad
I
movie,
tried
Leah.
that.
It's such a bad movie.
I was
Speaking.
like 10 when
Okay,
What?
speaking of Daredevil,
Mhm.
Netflix is making a huge stride on the original movies, and I will get back to Daredevil in a second. But it was a couple days ago. They announced that they're making a Legend of Zelda live action series.
I don't think it's gonna come out.
It is.
I-
Well, I mean, it's Nintendo, so
I
it's
I
always up
can't
in the
believe
air.
it.
It's always up in the air that Nintendo's like willing to give give power away from themselves. But I mean, I hope they do. I know there were some atrocities in the past, like the Super Mario
cartoon.
Brothers movies. Oof.
Or
Oh God,
the Zelda.
Oh.
that was one of the worst movies ever.
Yes, it was. Oh God.
Has
If you
absolutely
haven't-
nothing to do with Mario,
If
basically.
you have, it's like
It is really bad. It is
Yeah,
terrible.
I
I've
heard
seen
it. I heard it get it compared to if you tell somebody that was from Mars what Mario is based off of, that would be the movie.
Wow.
Like
that's
not
really-
knowing anything about it whatsoever at all, that would be the movie because that's what it is.
really terrible.
It's so bad, but it's
And
so
then-
good.
And like Yoshi, what was that?
It's like a dinosaur eating
It's like some
monster.
weird looking thing, and
Oh my God, I forgot about
Princess
Yoshi
Peach.
completely.
Oh, it's so
and
bad. I loved it. If you
that-
haven't seen it, go see it. Like find
Yeah.
it, watch it. It's a good bad movie.
it's so
Um,
fun to watch.
Sit down, some
laugh at.
popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So Brad,
it's one of those movies.
you're
Maybe a little
skeptical.
alcohol.
You're skeptical
That
like
too.
I am
Oh,
on
it's welcome.
Nintendo like finalizing the agreement with Netflix.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, the 90s was a weird time. Sorry, I'm getting.
'Cause- One moment.
Well, I'm sorry. What was the question?
Well, because Nintendo's it's very hard for Nintendo to let go of their grasp for all their entities. They like to
Yeah.
keep
No,
everything in
Nintendo
the
does
house.
Nintendo, and they only do Nintendo.
Exactly.
Other people, let's make Xbox and let's make
Yeah.
PlayStation, and we'll make other games for our Xbox and play. Nintendo's like, no, screw
Just
that.
Nintendo.
We
Yeah.
make Nintendo,
Yeah.
and we make waggle remotes,
Yeah.
controls, and
I mean,
we have a TV screen in our controller. So
we talked about
Yeah.
we talked about Nintendo last week and how they're like screwing over Let's Players and stuff like that. So do we think that Legend of Zelda will be good in live action?
As long as Zelda's hot.
Going away from that, if I'm talking about if the show gets made
You mean
by
Zelda
Netflix.
or Link?
No, I'm just talking about
Both
the
of
show
them.
in general. Like
Both of them have to be hot.
should it be like? Because some people think it should just be like a
Then they'll animate it.
like CG animated show, but that's basically what the video game is. But it's gonna be live action, so
oh
It's
God, they have to
okay.
they have to write their whole story original
Mhm.
too, because there's
gonna
no
go-
way they can follow the actual Zelda timeline.
Oh my
no,
gosh, yeah.
it goes
There's
all
no
over the place.
Packing
So
no.
that was another thing.
generations of different links. I mean,
That was another thing I was gonna
Like
ask.
Doctor Who.
What games do we think that they're gonna touch on?
None.
Probably-
They're gonna make their own original. Did you remember
Probably
the
gonna be
original
like a
Zelda
Resident
cartoon?
Evil kind of
Yeah.
thing, where it's loosely based.
Yeah, it might be
Sorry.
that. I mean, I remember the original Zelda cartoon, but you're
what
right.
a good.
Excuse me,
Oh my God!
princess.
Stop! Don't even.
But yeah, Leah.
Ugh.
I think it might be like loosely based on the games, with like
Yeah.
a lot of influence. I think more influence on Ocarina and Majora's Mask, because those are the ones that, like the people who are viewing Netflix are going to.
I could definitely see Link getting himself some kind of instrument
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wait, did you
'Cause
say Netflix?
Yes.
Netflix is
Yes.
producing
Yeah.
this?
Yes.
Oh, how did I miss that? Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Netflix is it could probably go there with it because they don't have anyone telling them what to do.
No.
Well, they have Nintendo telling them what to do, but it's like
No. That's part of the deal that that's the whole thing, that Nintendo's giving 100% of the creative rights to Netflix.
so it's like the same kind of
But
thing
the
with
thing is,
Yeah.
though, is that Netflix does have, from what I've seen, everything that Netflix has produced and brought out, it's always been really like, really, it's always been of quality. Like they always have something that's really well done. Like I've never been disappointed by anything really that Netflix has pumped out. Like
Mhm.
for the most part, and I think if they get something like Legend of Zelda, which has, I mean, it's one of the biggest video game franchises, they're gonna make sure that they don't piss everyone off.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
know, huh?
Sorry.
Like
Keep
for
going.
me, Netflix is a place like with where when it comes to content, I trust that it's good for the
Mhm.
most part, or I have high expectations of it. So
Mhm.
I think a lot of people will
At least the
definitely give it a chance to check it out and see what it's about and see how what they did with it and what they were able to come up with and work it in a way that's live action.
Mhm.
And that alone will definitely get people's attention. And if they do it right, then I can see definitely like probably blowing the f up. So
yeah.
yeah,
Speaking of getting anyone's attention, did the Grammys get anyone's attention?
Oh, you're
I
just gonna
watched
Nope.
skip right.
it.
You're just gonna skip right over
I
the Grammys. Okay. I didn't watch it.
Oh,
Did you? Did anybody watch
I
it?
watched
You did.
I
Okay.
did
Nope.
start it and then watched.
I did not watch it. My sister watched it. She but that's really where I've been getting my information.
So,
So and
Leah, what did
Tumblr.
you think?
I thought it was they definitely kind of uh they're getting it more and more serious, not really a lot of comedy.
Oh,
The
okay.
only comedy that I really felt there was Kanye West making a fool of
Yeah, I
himself.
Yes,
saw that.
that's mainly what I've been
Did he do it again?
No,
yeah,
he like
He
joked
nearly.
about it.
he joked about it. He walked up and Beck
Yeah.
was like, "Come on stage.
Yeah.
I need, I need
He was
help with
like
this."
trying to
I
fool.
heard Beck was 100% surprised that he won.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, he looked like a deer in the headlights when they called his name. I
Wow.
mean,
Yeah.
well deserved though. I mean,
Yep.
it's very cool to see someone like Beck. Yeah,
I mean,
not
I
that I'm
didn't
not
didn't
exposed.
realize that he released an album, but apparently he's been releasing albums every
That's
year.
what my mom said.
I
Too.
mean, so a question I have for you then: are the Grammys like a relevant show anymore? Like, are they a relevant award show? Because in the past few years,
I would assume so.
they've gotten
I feel like in the
ridiculous.
past few years they've been like they've been losing some credibility and a lot of people are just not they're just I feel like a lot of people are like losing interest in that entire like that entire show is just like it's
And
almost
that's why I feel
becoming
like
like
they've been
us
sticking.
like fancier MTV awards.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah, yeah. And that's why, but that's sort of the end all be all for musicians in a way, or at least what I feel like what an Emmy or an Oscar is to filmmaker. But it I think that they've been really realizing their lack of credibility, and they've
Hmm.
been making it more serious. Like I said, there was not a lot of comedy.
Hmm.
It was very much about the music, and which was very cool. And they I I don't know. It definitely I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't trashy. Everyone was very well dressed and all the performances were really good except, like I have a few I didn't like, but everything was really well done. It was well produced and I I would say they're still relevant. And they
Okay.
also touched on the fact that there's an artist alliance
Hmm.
where it's making sure that piracy is not an issue anymore, so that musicians can continue to make the music and also get paid for it and feed their families.
Oh, that's
And
good.
and I think that was an interesting thing that they touched on. They had Jennifer Hudson and uh, Ryan, the singer of One Republic, and the Grammy dude up talking about it, and they were like, help join the alliance, and so they really brought it back to what I think it needs to be brought back to is the music. I mean, and
Agreed.
not
Yeah.
celebrity, not anything in that fact. It was just all about the music.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
good.
I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I did. But that's
really
really,
good.
I mean, that's really it. Something
What?
I was gonna say it's not something that I would watch on Valentine's Day though.
I think that's what we're gonna close on.
Darn it!
I would.
said
I want to hit.
to
I
it.
want to hit. I want to hit a few other things before we get there. So
Epic fail.
there another like I guess video game thing that came out. A new Hitman movie's coming out.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Hitman
right.
Agent 47. A new trailer came out. Did anybody see the original? The atrocity that was the original?
No.
I think all video game movies end up being atrocities unless it's like Laura Croft or something.
Max Payne.
Well, this one looks
I love
awesome.
Resident Evil. Oh
If you
my
haven't
gosh.
seen the trailer, go watch the trailer. It's just like pure action, which it needs to be, and
Yeah.
it looks freaking awesome. So I guess nobody's seen it. But that's Brad. You bring up something that I wanted to talk about. Are all video game movies doomed to fail?
No.
I think it's
It
video
lies-
games in particular tell a story in a very specific way. They are given much more freedom than a movie to tell a story. It's much more interactive. They have a lot more time.
Mhm.
And trying to take the entirety of a story of a video game and put it into a movie is
I mean,
asking a
they
lot
do it
of
with
those writers.
books.
They can do it with books because they get to, I guess, pick and choose which
Yeah. But why,
scenes are integral to the book.
why can't they do that with the video games?
I think they can.
'Cause most games, I feel like, are just half of the story is almost written by the player as they're playing it.
Well, because
Uh,
there are other movies that are coming out, like Assassin's Creed is coming out with a movie, Mass Effect's coming out with a movie, and the big one, World of Warcraft, is coming out with its own movie.
Heavily scripted games like Assassin's Creed, I feel like could have a quote unquote successful movie, as successful as that
It's
can
like
be.
Uncharted could probably have
Um,
one.
Yeah.
I guess I'm more judging the quality of these things. Whether they're a success or not, though, depends a lot on advertising.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Assassin's Creed could do well because those games are always heavily scripted,
Hmm.
just like a novel can be heavily scripted. Um, Other games, I feel like just games that aren't near as heavily scripted, that are a lot more open world or a lot more open ended, you just can't do well with them when
Well-
it comes to making a movie.
They're doing World of Warcraft. Is that
That has a very specific timeline, though, instead of
true.
events.
Yes, that's true.
They can't tell any individual player's story or anything like that. They can't
No.
tell the story of this one guy and his guild and how they took down this raid boss or something like that.
No, it's like it's
Uh,
yeah.
I mean,
part
World of
the lore.
Warcraft's story. I mean, they've got a lore dating back.
I mean, that's
God,
that's what
Warcraft
they're
1, whenever that
doing.
came out.
That-
Yeah,
that's
I
what
mean,
they're
so
doing. They're going back to like the before the first Warcraft began, and that's what the story is.
yeah, so I mean, Warcraft lore is really set in stone and scripted right now.
Speaking of things that are coming out soon, we're gonna go back to Netflix. Some other original stuff that's coming out.
Netflix.
So Marvel has 4 shows planned, 1 season each for 4 different entities: Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. Daredevil for the first one to come out later this year, I believe. So that's Marvel, pushing out more content. They have Agents of Shield right now, and they have Agent Carter right now, which are both amazing. Can't wait for season 3, and Agent Carter is really good. So are y'all excited for to see a new company besides like ABC, because that's who's been doing the other ones, take on Marvel content?
Yeah, I mean it's another set of reigns for sure.
I feel like
It's gonna be different.
I feel like we're missing like half of what is going on because Leah and Steph are having a totally another conversation
We're
behind.
not.
Untold
I'm drinking my
conversations.
drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Sure.
just, honestly, I'm a bit biased when it comes to Daredevil though, because
But you've read the comics.
well, yeah, that's why I'm a bit biased, because so any kind of content that comes out, I'm gonna watch it. I mean,
Yeah.
I may end up not liking it, but I'm the kind of person that'll watch everything, most everything, and like it. But
I mean, the images. I don't know if you've seen like images from it. The guy who's playing Daredevil looks awesome. He like fits the part. He's like a ragged lawyer that's blind and stuff. But he looks like Daredevil from the comics. It looks like it's gonna be right up the comics alley. So I think you won't be disappointed.
oh, totally.
And you're the person that they're probably trying to impress. Uh,
Of course.
yeah.
Specifically Leah.
Specifically Leah, because she's the only one that reads Daredevil comics.
Oh,
This guy, yeah, he was in Charlie Cox. Yeah, he was in
Yes.
Stardust.
Yep.
He was the guy
Yep.
from
That's the
Stardust.
same guy. Yep. And he's like had his facial hairs
Theory of-
grown out, and he looks really good. For
Wow,
that
I'm
part.
impressed. He can play a very non-threatening person, but he
Yep.
definitely does. In Daredevil, he definitely has a look to him.
Mhm.
I'm very impressed.
Doesn't it? It looks good, right? I don't know very much about the other shows. I mean, I've like read a little bit of the comics for those other people, but those are coming later next year, so we'll find out more information about them. A show that's on right now, or actually, I mean, it recently came out. I think the end of last year or the beginning of this year. Marco Polo. Has anybody watched any episodes of that?
No, but I've seen
no.
it, and I'm really curious about it, but I've just never stopped and watched.
So I've watched about 3 episodes. I mean,
My parents watched all of it.
I'll
They
probably
really enjoyed it.
I'll probably watch more, later on because there's just so much content out there right now that I have to catch up. But
Yeah.
from what I've seen, it's massive. Like it's like a Game of Thrones undertaking that Netflix took on. It is grandiose and everything. It looks amazing. The art direction is absolutely gorgeous. The costume design, you feel like when you watch it, you feel like you're in that time.
hmm
So there's some. We'll just touch on some of the other shows.
There's also called Peaky Blinders. Has anyone seen that?
There's
Yeah,
so
that
many
one
new
has
shows.
the guy from Inception,
Mm-hmm.
the guy that played the guy that played the rich guy that they were conning.
Yes, the Asian
Um,
guy. Yeah.
Not the Asian guy, the young guy that they were like trying to get into his head.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
so he's in it,
Mhm.
and I have no idea what it's about, but it's another period piece. It looks really interesting.
Okay.
Like one of those drama.
The-
Yeah, there's like a few episodes are out right now.
There's so many on Netflix.
Yeah.
To touch on
Yeah.
a few big ones: Orange is the New Black, House of Cards, BoJack Horseman, which is an animated series by them, which is actually kind of funny if y'all want to watch it.
That's the one that I'm just really thrown off by.
It's kind of
Uh,
ridiculous.
To be
Yeah.
real honest.
I'm not a fan of Orange is the New Black, but I know a lot of people are. House of Cards, absolutely amazing. And then Netflix recently, like I think about a month ago, they announced that they're starting up a series of unfortunate events.
Really?
Yes, they got the rights to it,
Yeah, I have to.
and it's pretty. I think it's already confirmed for 2 seasons.
Oh wow.
Which before the
You're
first
talking
season,
about the series of unfortunate events.
like
Like
based on the books, yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
The one that Jim
I'm
Carrey,
so
the one
down
that Jim
for that.
Carrey ruined. Yes.
I
I actually like that movie.
wanted to
Movie
marry
was awful.
Klaus.
Movie
I
was awful. Yes. Klaus was the badass. Come on.
yeah.
No, not. I'm being sarcastic. Come on now.
What?
Klaus wasn't. He wasn't a badass. I mean, he's a kid. But when you were a kid,
I
you
was
wanted
like
to
that.
marry him. I
I
understand
just
what you're
super
saying. I'm a huge
I
fan.
can't really
I,
say that anymore because
yeah.
he's forever that age in that
Yes.
movie, and
I think I read like the first 10 books. I don't know how many there were, but I read like 10 of them when I was younger.
I was reading Daredevil comics while you're busy.
Consuming
Silence. Sorry.
you're reading Daredevil comics while I was consuming actual literature. I understand, yes.
Yep. So basically, in short, I never read them. I think I own the first one, but
It's
let's not go
really
that
good
far.
series. Excited for that. Another one with Kyle Chandler. He's from like Friday Night Lights, the dad from Friday Night Lights. He's also from Super 8, the dad from Super 8, and he's in a couple other movies. He's in a new show coming out for Netflix called Bloodline, which is a dramatic thriller that explores the demons lurking beneath the surface of a contemporary American family. It looks surprisingly good. It comes out in a couple. I can actually check exactly when it comes out. It comes out in 35 days as of the recording of this, and it looks surprisingly really good. I keep saying surprisingly for Netflix shows because I still haven't grasped that they're they're basically a network now, but online and allowing people just to binge watch because they release their entire seasons all at once. But there's so many new shows coming out for them that it's like so many good shows that are coming out from them that I have to stop saying I'm surprised. Because
with YouTube having original series, and then with Hulu, I mean, Netflix has a quality unmatched.
Because they
Showtime,
so much
but
money
HBO obviously, but
yeah.
It's interesting. It's the era of that. I mean, you kind of pick and choose what rabbit hole you want to jump down,
or you just choose all the rabbit holes like I do, and get lost and be behind. Be behind like so many shows, and plus I watch YouTube as well, so it's kind of hard with so many. Like, there's Gotham, Flash, Arrow, Agent Carter. That's just like the superhero stuff. There's just so much. I just Constantine. Yeah. I just scroll and I just get lost. Yeah, there's just so much. Oh God.
You almost need a.
They have a huge list. I mean, I'm looking at a list right now, and it just goes on and on.
Yeah, it really does. It's so bad.
Like Hemlock Grove, I haven't seen it, but I've seen like little like ads for it. I just have no idea what that's about. It's a horror thriller.
Yeah.
Some like you.
That's just Netflix. I mean, there's a lot of other shows out there too. I mean, that are absolutely amazing. There's a show called Continuum that Leah and I started, like, I don't know, like 4 years ago.
I actually really like the show.
that I'm still on the second season of. I don't even think Leah's finished the first season.
Yeah. I know, and I own it.
Yeah.
That show is actually. I'm not really into sci-fi shows, but that show is actually really.
It's really good.
I can get behind it.
It's really good.
Lost Girl is ending.
Lost Girl is ending. I haven't yet to see that, but it's on my Netflix queue.
Oh yeah.
What about Carmilla? You're gonna talk about that?
That's awesome.
Like Carmilla is this YouTube web series that is surprisingly really.
That's the one that Leah showed me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really, really, really interesting, and it mainly takes place off of this girl's desktop. Like, you're looking through her webcam, and it all takes place in her room, her dorm at college, and you actually get to know characters and follow a storyline, and there's drama and all this shit going on,
So
and it's really interesting.
something I read, that's a set.
Yeah,
It is a set.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a set that she like. Yeah, so.
and
she-
there's like a ton of people behind it.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
like,
they have sponsors and
yeah,
everything.
it's like
I mean,
it's a huge. It's like actually a bigger production.
Yeah,
totally.
I watched a couple episodes and I was like, I wish I could do that if I had money.
Amen.
That's like the main
And
thing.
it's amazing. I mean, just their quality and their just the writing
Mhm.
is brilliant, and just
What's
the choice that they made
Mhm.
to do it in that sense was so smart because they built a story through dialogue, through everything.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's just one of those things where I've never really seen something like that before.
Yeah.
That's why I stuck around for the first couple episodes, because I was like, whoa, like what, who knew something could be interesting from this perspective?
yeah, from
Whoa.
like literally one perspective the entire time. Like,
If only there was a show that I wanted to get started that had the same premise. Hmm.
Hmm.
So ending off, in a couple days it's Valentine's Day. And as someone who has never been able to celebrate Valentine's Day for some reason or another, what is everybody's plans for Valentine's Day?
I am babysitting for my neighbor.
I'm probably going to be hanging
Exciting.
out with my grandma
Yeah,
Exciting.
I'll drink to that.
and
Brad?
my grandpa.
We'll have to see. Though I actually might be working.
Exciting.
We are exciting.
I,
Sorry.
for the first time ever,
I'm gonna be babysitting my neighbor while she goes out on her Valentine's.
for the first time ever, have a date with the Bay. And
Oh, here it comes.
I was about to
He's
say,
gonna brag.
no,
He's gonna brag about it.
I'm going to all you can eat sushi, and then yeah, I mean I've
with
had
a lady friend.
yeah with the girlfriend, yeah.
Oh, dude.
I've had plans to have a Valentine day in the past, but my first one I got my appendix taken out.
Oh, wow.
The second one I had meningitis.
Wow, that's really lucky.
Fun times.
That's horrible.
Dodged him.
The third one, my girlfriend was a crazy person, so you know, it kind of didn't work out. But so I'm finally excited to actually have a actual date. It's kind of it's exciting.
Well deserved. Well
So
deserved.
my question is, what does one do on Valentine's Day? Because having no experience, I have no idea.
Watch Netflix.
My dad said buy her a necklace, and I was like, well, considering I've only been going out with her for about a month,
Well,
that's a little
I will
too
repeat
much.
to you what the radio has repeated to me on my long drives up to Sam Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Offer to give her a massage, and
Ooh.
not just some 5-minute back rub. I mean, like, get out the oil and whatnot and everything, and
Oh,
lay
okay.
down, and then afterwards, maybe she can give you a massage.
Said
Oh,
lay it down.
okay. Okay.
Ew.
Gotcha.
You get your mind out of the gutter. I'm not referring to that, Leah.
Yeah. Clothes on, Leah.
Yeah,
Gosh.
that kind of
Yeah,
sex exists
right.
too.
Mhm.
Wow. God.
Oh my gosh. Now you could buy her an aloe vera plant because it's practical.
Shut. That's your answer to
An aloe
everything.
vera plant, but
Very practical.
I have an
Who did
I have
we
a-
actually
I have
do that
allergic
for one year?
reactions to aloe vera.
Well,
That's hilarious. I've never thought about that.
Aloe vera, like like the actual rub, it actually makes me burn.
Wow, that's really shitty.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
okay.
That's not what aloe vera should do.
Well, that's what it does to me.
It
So I
should
will
do
not
that.
be doing that.
Yeah, it's supposed to help.
Uh,
What should I mean? you could do the typical thing and just buy flowers and
That seems
Write her a song.
chocolates.
write her a
and,
song with all my musical genius. Yes. I shall do this.
Cowbell.
With a cowbell? If I owned a cowbell, then that'd be
my
great.
gosh, whip up
It
the
needs
cowbell.
more cowbell.
Be like, this
Mhm.
song is for you.
I got a fever.
Clink,
The only
clink.
cure is more cowbell.
I have absolutely no musical ear. I mean, I still listen to Linkin
Dance.
Park, guys. Come on now. Anyways, I think. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Stop.
Anything that's been going on with your lives? Anything that's been going on with the channel? Anything that you want to talk about? Anything?
No.
No?
What has happened this week? I can't think of anything else really. No,
That's pretty much all I know.
for me, yeah, we
Brett-
covered quite a
Brett's
bit.
still playing his game. Leah has disappeared.
Definitely.
Hmm.
I'm in a game called Besiege right now, and I'm messing around with what's called a Chaos Engine.
Well, that's
Aptly
exciting.
named because it produces so much torque that nothing in the game can handle it. It was kind of like a bug that creates this thing. And it's made of saw blades and fireballs, so
So
aptly named the Chaos Engine.
stuff that's on the channel that's coming up. We are currently working on Broken World. More episodes of that is coming out. We're trying to find more people and film more stuff. It's more scripted out than we thought. There are
Yes.
other projects that I want to get started and that I want to talk to you guys about once we get done with this, because there's a new show that I thought of like before this, and I thought it would be absolutely hilarious. And then I am starting to rewrite Mob and continue writing Lifelines, and that's about it.
Mhm.
Which are all projects that you find out about.
Yes, soon enough. Anything else? Any closing statements, everybody?
Have a fantastic Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Aloe vera plant.
Brad?
Practical.
Snuggle up with your Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And your aloe vera plant.
Mhm.
Let us
That's
know what
probably
Netflix
not a
shows.
good idea. Aloe vera plants are a plant.
It's a great idea.
Deadly.
Yep. Anyways, my name has been Jevin, and these guys have been.
Your
part
name
of
has
the-
been Jevin.
Yes, it is. Yes, it has been, and it will always be Jevin, unless I get my name changed. Then it won't be. But
Then yeah.
this has been the StarCof
What's that?
podcast, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
Cool. Bye bye.